In the U.S., and our parent company is in the UK, Chrysalis Music Limited, they still have a hard time figuring out why every single license of a song into an audio-visual work, whether it be a TV show, motion picture, video game, you name it, has to be negotiated. Every single license. And that's the way it is. The copyright law says that there is no compulsory right of anyone to use songs in audiovisual projects. So every single license is negotiated. That's why you've got to have good people in your licensing departments, people who are quick, people who are fair to the user, people who know their stuff. Because if you don't have that type of personnel in your licensing department, then you're going to start losing a lot of uses. The interesting thing about the audiovisual world, if take TV shows or motion picture producers, if they know that a particular publisher or if a writer owns his or her own catalog and they handle it themselves, if they're difficult, they're not going to come to you, after a fefew rejections right away. Or if a decision takes 14 days or 21 days, TV shows are being shot that day sometimes. So you've got like a 5-day window on TV, and really when they call you, you better be able to say yes or no to put a song into a TV episode, because if you can't, then that show is done, it's on the air, and that clearance person or producer or music supervisor will never come back to you again. But it's an individual license every single time one of these things happen. So it's very labor intensive. Granted, there are forms that we have, if we're dealing with Warner Brothers Television, we've got a Warner Brothers form that works for them, that's been negotiated. We're dealing with Sony, we're dealing with an independent, Universal, whatever. So we've got forms that are tailored to each particular production company, which have been pre-negotiated. So all you're doing sometimes is filling in the numbers. That's a whole nother negotiation by itself. Certain shows, well, a lot of it has to do with bargaining power. If they want a hit song, they're going to pay for it. If you've got an indie band that needs exposure, then the fees are going to be much, much less. And, the role of the licensing person can be extremely important in exposure to younger bands. I mean, we love to get Billy Idol stuff out there, White Wedding, Rebel Yell, One Way or Another by Blondie. We represent the Elvis Presley catalog. I mean, there are songs there that sell themselves and that producers will pay for, whether it be TV, motion pictures, etc. Video games is another story, which I'll get to in one second. But the indie bands, if you're not flexible with TV shows, and there are a ton of TV shows out there right now who are using indie bands, and the indie bands are definitely getting the benefit of an exposure level that they would not have had. If you look at the top 113 shows that are on basically network TV, and network meaning Warner Brothers, those networks also. The worst rated show, you'll get about 1.3 million people watching. Now, even the worst rated show, you got 1 million people hearing your song, and a lot of the shows have cards at the end, which mention the band, which mention the album. Even if they don't have cards, let me tell you right now, the audience watching these shows are so hip. The websites are so good. You go into the OC website, wonderful. You know exactly what song was played on each individual episode. The context. I mean, it's just great stuff. People are interested in music right now. That's why for our indie bands, the first thing we do, we'll take out, we've got these samplers, which we send out to music supervisors monthly of all the new stuff we've signed, or we're giving them ideas. There are a number of companies out there, Universal emails their samplers to music supervisors. I mean, the websites are unbelievable. I mean, to promote music right now. But yeah, the whole importance of the whole audiovisual area for younger bands is just it's essential right now.